All right, so Shalom, Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Waka, Kwadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yasha'Allah, Barakatah Yahweh, Kala, Kala, Shalom, Shalom, Halawayah, Halawayah. We're going to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach our well and who are overseeing the construction of the tabernacle of David, a more perfect tabernacle. Shalom to the Akim, while Aqua scattered abroad, and Shalom to the believers. I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. So this is Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of man, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. Matter of fact, let me read the scripture before I break it down again. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. So the Most High is like the brothers say all the time, man. There's no free will, man. The Most High has His hand and His spirit upon everything that's happening on this planet Earth. It's by the will and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. It's no. This is what the scriptures say, man. Either take it or leave it. It says, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of man, and give it to whomsoever he will, and set up over it the basis of men. Let's go into the word, the basis. Shapa'al.
Strong's H8215. Shafal. Shafal.
It says low, lowest of station, basis, low. Let's go to the word.
Strong's H8214. Shafal.
To be or
Shafal.
bring low, humble, to bring low and humble. And who is the basis of men? That's Esau, Edom. And you can tell by the way that how he acts, his mannerisms, the things he used to do, man, is well known knowledge that it was well known knowledge that the Edomites were the so-called Caucasians, and they dwelled in the Caucasus mountains or Mount Seir. And when they came out of Mount Seir, they were basically cavemen, you know, grunting, had no language, you know, ate groomed themselves by eating you know what I'm saying, ticks and stuff off each other. So Job, I'm gonna start, this is Job 30:1. But now they that are younger than me have me in derision, that being of a low stature, you know. And Elder Ayathan, when he broke the scripture down, he said, you know, Jake in the modern day times, when they trying to little boy somebody, they call him, you know, you're a son to me, you know what I'm saying? And he says, whose fathers have disdain to have set with the dogs of my flock. Man, these wicked ass, nasty ass Edomites. And remember the scripture saying in Hebrews, I think it's 12, that there at least be any fornicator more profane than Esau. They are the most disgusting pieces of shit to ever walk this piece of earth, man. And you see it in their mannerisms, how they smell. You ever had that? You know what I'm saying? You know how they smell. You know, especially when they get wet. You know what I'm saying? The Most High has left us indicators to understand who the Edomites are and who they will be today, man. Through their mannerisms, through their position, through their customs, all that. And we can tell they're the basis of men because why? They're really on a low level, but the Most High poured out their spirit upon them to bring them up. You know what I'm saying? Due to the curses in Deuteronomy. It says, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. For want and famine they were solitary. Who is that? Solitary. What do you meaning solitary meaning by thyself? Who is that? Esau Edom, living in caves. It says what? Fleeing to the wilderness in former time desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men that cried after them as after a thief, because back in the ancient days, and you can even do research this, man. And I think it's the movie Roots, man, or one of the movies, you know, when they first came to get Kunta or get their slaves, what did the dude say? He's like, beware of the pale man. Basically, you know what I'm saying? It smell like wet coward. Basically, you know, if you watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It's like saying beware of them. The pale man. Basically, you know, I don't remember exactly how it goes, but the point I'm trying to make is people had this knowledge that these people were just, you know what I'm saying? You had to get them the fuck out the city, man. It says they cried them as after a thief. It says what? To dwell in the cliffs of the valleys and caves of the earths and in the rocks. Another indicator of who the bases of men were. What people on the planet Earth do you know have a history of dwelling in the caves of the earth? It says, among the bushes they prayed, among the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yeah, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. Now, I wanted to start the lesson off by establishing this premise of the basis of men. So now we come to the point of why I actually want to do this lesson is why in 2021 are the bases of men still ruling this planet, man? The wicked, the Edomites. How are they still able to rule this planet, man? First and foremost, Salakia. It's through the will and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. That's how you know it, man. You look at it. You look at creepy Joe Butthead, man. You see he's through. You see he's unfit to rule and unfit to lead a nation. But through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, he's continuing in his lot, man, because he has to fulfill the Lord's will. So now that we've gotten the most obvious answer out the way, man, the what I wanted to touch on is ideology, or not even an ideology, a certain a philosophy and political science that's called rule by the mob or mob rule, meaning or you know, you have different variations of the phraseology, you know, death by the mob, rule of the mob, in other, you know what I'm saying, phrases. But here we're going to get the definition.
Mob rule.
It says control of a political situation by those outside the conventional or lawful realm, typically involving violence and intimidation. Now, let me see if the online Eptimon has it. In ancient times, the mob was referred to as the people. The people were the mob. The regular citizens who didn't have political stature or didn't have, you know what I'm saying, seats in the higher echelons of the society, they were looked at as the mob. And here we go. It says mob, 1680s, disorderly part of the population. Disorderly part of the population. And going into what I was saying, rule by the mob was necessarily, this was an ideology that was amongst, you know, the top upper echelons of the society, where they knew that if they didn't keep certain things going right, or if they didn't keep the people happy, that people could take over at any moment, take them out their power seat and kill them. You know what I mean? This was common knowledge. That's why you see in a couple of quick examples I can give. When you look at the ancient Roman Empire, they had to have the bread and circus. Why? To keep the people's mind appeased. Because if the people's mind was not appeased and they lost favor of the citizens, man, the citizens would go buck wild and tear shit up, loot the Senate buildings, loot the palaces, man, kill people, just all types of anarchy. And that's what generally happens when the rule of the mob is instituted, is all out anarchy. Because unlike now, people understood the true power that they possess. Because there's more of us regular common folk than there is of the upper echelon politicians and upper echelon celebrities and all these other people, man. It's more of us than them. That's why you see in this day and age, they're trying to take away your rights, take away your guns. They poison pretty much everything they can to keep you on a low level, not only low level physically but mentally, so your mind cannot process and comprehend certain things. And not only that, your mind won't even put two and two together to say, okay, maybe we need to all get together and uprise and take out this political system, man. And then thirdly, Oh yeah, that's why they want to take away your guns. Because here in America, the advantage that the average ordinary Joe has over a lot of other foreign countries is that here in America you have the quote unquote right to bear arms, man. You have certain civilians that got sticks like the military, as you know the rappers say, man. You got certain civilians that got whole arsenals, man. And we as a people, we have a more we have the a greater ability to defend ourselves against our institutions of order, like the police, the military. Us common people, we have a more fighting chance to defend ourselves against them than people in China do, and that's why a lot of foreign countries are scared to come to U.S. Soil because they know not only will they have to deal with the military, they will have to deal with the common people who also are very armed and trained like the military, you know. But going back to the definition of mob, it says 1680s, disorderly part of the population, ramble, common mass, the multitude, especially when rude or disorderly, a riotous assemblage, slang shortenage of mobility, common people, populace. The common people. That's who was defined as the mob, man. Common people. People everyday farmers, you know, the people, actually, you know what I'm saying? Actually, in a better phraseology to put to it is the people who actually uphold society, you know, the workers, the farmers, the builders, the carpenters, the you know, the traders, the ship merchants and all these people, the people who actually make society run, those were the people who are known as the mob. And like I already said beforehand, a couple minutes ago, politicians were they were always very aware in the back of their mind that if we don't keep these people appeased, or if we don't keep these people in a state of amusement, and I believe that word muse, if I'm not mistaken, muse means to think, and then we put the article of the letter A in front of it, it negates it. So amusement means to not to think. So, and that's how we are in the society, man. We're taught not to think. We're taught to be dumbed down. We're taught not to question things, not to do research, not to even consider and ponder about certain things that the basis of man does, man. And that's, if you don't see the power of Yahweh Shemi Shai in that we can have the basis of man rule over us for centuries, damn near coming to almost a millennium. Because these devils been in power for a very long time, man. It's nothing short than the 800 years. Yeah, a little bit short of 800 years in the Western Hemisphere. You know what I'm saying? So for them to be able to rule this long is, like I said, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Shai. But then they have taken away the mob rule. They have taken away the ideology that the people have more power than the people. The common people have more power than the nobility or the aristocratic people or the whatever, you know. And like I said, a perfect example of that is, you know, the Roman bread and circus. Let's see if we can get some information on that. But then also, if you look at also if you look at let's see if I can pull it up because I don't want to pronounce it wrong. Netflix show. Okay, yeah. The Netflix show Medici Masters of Florence. It's a 3 season show on Netflix chronicling the rise of the Medici merchant family, the bankers, you know. This is where you see all these top banking families today. This is where they get I would say this is where they originate from. The same thing that the Medici did, or the same thing these banking families do today, man. in their regeneration. So when you look at that show in season 3, when you look at let's pull them up. When you look at season 3, after the attempt on Lorenzo de Medici, or however I keep forgetting it. It's like Lorenzo Medici, de Medici. When you look at that episode, I believe it's the season finale. People attempted. Let's see if we can get it. It's gonna go into it. See right here. This is a perfect example too for what I'm saying. So Lorenzo de Pereio de Medici was an Italian statesman, banker, de facto ruler of the Florentine Republic. He was de facto meaning that he was what the people looked up to, you know. He wasn't the person that was you know what I'm saying, officially ruling, but because of his influence as a banker, and not only as an influence as a banker, he's a patron of the arts, man. He supported different civil projects. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Medici family financed the building of a certain dome or a certain church in Florence. So because of his influence, he became very popular among the people. Now keep that in mind. And it says what? And the most powerful, enthusiastic patron of Renaissance culture in Italy, also known as Lorenzo the Magnificent. He held the balance of power within the Italic League, which he also was influential in the institution of the Italic League, which was trying to get all Italy, what they call the boot, together, you know, all those city-states. So I want to get, okay, here it is. It says Lorenzo was the subject of the Pazzi conspiracy, the Pazzis being another well-known banking family during the time that Lorenzo was alive. It says in which his brother Giuliano was assassinated. And in that episode I'm talking about, it goes through all throughout it. It's like it goes into it, man. They went into the church, man. It was mass. They got down, man. They poked that boy Giuliano up, and they tried to get Lorenzo too, and they thought they had him, but he was alive. So what ended up happening is when Lorenzo was found to be alive, man, after it's like I'm kind of skipping through things. Let me slow down. So the part of the conspiracy was to make Lorenzo seem to be like he was trying to gain control. You know what I'm saying? Basically turn everything into a dictatorship because, like it says, he was the de facto ruler through certain legislation that they put out to ensure the quote unquote ensure the success of Florence during certain controversial times in the Republic. So keeping that in mind, the Pazzis, they wasn't fucking with it. So they was like, man, we're gonna take these niggas out. Boom, they got the conspiracy together, man. They got their people. They pulled up on them at mass. They poked up Giuliano. They you know what I'm saying, they got him off. You know what I'm saying, the deed was done with Giuliano. They thought they got Lorenzo, you know what I'm saying, but nah, he survived. And when he came out, you know what I'm saying, and came and confronted, the Pazzis, the people lost it, man. The people pretty much lost it. And what ended up happening was mob rule, man. Mob rule. The people lost it. They started looting the Pazzis' house, man. They seized the Pazzis, man. They hung them all from the buildings, man. They, like I said, man, if you got some spare time, look at the episode, man. They hung them all from the buildings. They looted their houses, man. And basically after that, man, everything kind of went back to not normal, but just like I say, it's the best example of what I can show of the mob rule and how it's different from this time, because the average person ain't gonna go hard body like that, man. With all this bullshit that we go through, The average person ain't thinking about, man, we need to rise up and seize control of the government and you know what I'm saying, create our own political city state and actually when you look at it in a political sense, because I studied political science, man, these senators, these mayors, these governors, they're supposed to do what we tell them to do. They're civil servants. That means their whole job is centered around doing what we tell them to do. And how often does that happen? Not very often. So, like I said, it's through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi outside, the elites have been able to take away the fear of the common people. Man, they don't give a shit about you, man. They ain't worried about the average Jake on the corner, man, because they know you're through. They know you don't really know too much, and they know ultimately the people love, they trust in oppression. Let's get the scripture on that. Then we'll go back to the point. I think it's Isaiah 30. Let's just get it straight to the point. Isaiah 30. Isaiah 30 and 12. Wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon, because everything that Esau Edom doing, man, it's clear to see bright and it's evident, man. They ain't even trying to hide this shit no more. That they have an agenda. Especially with the Israelites, man, after everything that you have gone through in this country, man, it's very evident, man, that these people are oppressing us. Look at the minimum wage, man. Look at how much people, these top upper echelons of society, you know, your Forbes list, stupid ass Edomites, man, they make billions and billions of dollars, and most of it tax free, man. They get scot off, they get off scot free with paying their taxes. Make billions and billions of dollars, and they pay you damn near pennies, man, because what they make compared off what their profit compared to their expenses, man, they getting a whole bunch of cream, man. It's not even fathomable the profit margins that they make off of their expenses, man. So it says, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in the high wall, whose breaking comes suddenly at an instant, man. Because, hey, this society is going to crumble at any moment, man. It's going to be when you least expect it, man. The scripture, peace and safety, then sudden destruction. So going back, like I said, about the example of Lorenzo de Medici, you know, in that little instance of mob rule. But that's how it used to be all the time, man. When you go out, go look at ancient history, man. You know, and I can't really think of too much that comes to mind. A lot of nobility, a lot of kings, a lot of people got put to death through, death by mob. And then we're gonna get a scripture in the Bible, you know, that kind of substantiates my point. Hey, that's a good point. Lynching. That was death by mob. Because what? You see a bunch of people, picnics, you get a bunch of these Edomites, they see some so-called Negro that they don't like, and they just snatch him up and have their way with him. Well, I guess it's what. Let's see if I can get something out. Well, I guess they're only going to give me lynching. So, this is basically what I'll take what I need from this. It says, it is most often used to characterize informal. This meaning informal, meaning without the sanctions of the government. Because you have the judicial system, which enforces laws. But an informal public execution is where the common people enforce their own law. by a mob in order to punish mob. We already went to that word, the common people. In order to punish an alleged transgressor, punish a convicted transgressor, or intimidate. And then, back, like I said, back in ancient times, man, the mob, you piss the people off to a certain point, man, or yeah, like I said, you pissed the people off to a certain point, man. They got together and they was pulling up on you with wooden stakes and fire and swords and shit, man. The people in ancient times, they wasn't playing around with the aristocracy. They wasn't playing around with the nobility. They were ready to get down at the moment's notice when they finally understood that, hey man, what's going on is now what's beneficial to me as a common person. And it's like I said, man, it's different today because people just so scary, man. And like I said, man, it's through the spirit and power. How about Shimi outside? People are in a deep sleep, man. To where it's like they see this shit right in front of their eyes, but they don't care, man. Let's get the scripture. Be of the spirit, or what's this? John's baptism. Okay, here we go. Matthew 21. Matthew 21. Starting at So Matthew 21:23 for context, paint the picture. It says, when he was coming to the temple, the chief priests and the elders of the people came unto him as he was teaching and said, by what authority doest thou these things, and who gave thee this authority? To the chief priests, man, the elders, the wicked of the Israelites, they came up to Yahushua. They was like, man, everything you're doing, who gave you the say so to do all this stuff? And he said, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, I will ask you one thing, which if you tell me, and likewise will I tell you by what authority I do these things, man. Basically, putting them in a trick bag. If you answer my question, I'll answer your question. So he said, this was a question. The baptism of John, whence was it? From heaven or of men? And they reasoned with themselves, saying, if we shall say from heaven, he will say unto us, why do you not believe? And here's the point. But if we shall say of men, we fear the people, for all hold John as a prophet. They knew that Yahushua put them in the trick bag because they couldn't answer the question, because if they say, you know what I'm saying, it's of heaven, then he'd be like, because that's Yahushua was his main thing, was I do the works of my Father which sent me. And they never wanted to believe it. But they said, they understood that, okay, if we say of men, and then the people who held, the common people who held the John the Baptist in such a high regard, they say if we say it's of men, basically if we denigrate and if we basically shit on the works of, diminish the works of John the Baptist, the people they're gonna pull up on us. They're gonna pull up on us and they're gonna want to know, you know what I'm saying, why are you speaking down on what John did? It's the same. And I brought the scripture up to prove that people who are of high stature, you know what I'm saying, because like I said, man, the chief priest, that was a high position in Israel, and the elders, men of renown, they feared the people. And that's not how it is, man, right now, because, like I said, man, the bases of men have corrupted the earth through you know what I'm saying? I forget what the quote is, but the apostles talk on us all the time, speaking about either, one of these wicked Edomites saying, we're poisoning their food, we're poisoning their clothes, we're poisoning the air, and poisoning the medicine, and basically this all, and then by the time it's all done, they'll be begging for us for more poison or something like that. And that's how it is, man. People today are not like the people of old, man, through all the miseducation, all the bullshit, fool, all the everything, man. So that's two reasons, like I said, two reasons why the basis of men can rule in this time is one, through the will and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, and two, there's no rule of the mob, man. People don't fear the upper echelons of society. They don't fear the common people, man. They look at you as peons. So I'm going ahead and close it out. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. For the Most High shall bring every work into judgment. For every secret thing, whether it be good, whether it be evil. With that being said, I'm going to say, Halawayah.